alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
According to a report released this week, people who paint themselves silver and pretend to be statues earn, on average, $10 million per year. The Onion sat down with economist Mark Cosgrave to learn more about the money-making potential of this highly lucrative employment path.
There's no more profitable career at the moment. If you compare these positions to other high-paying jobs, say physicians or mechanical engineers, you'll find that those individuals who have outfitted themselves with silver-painted boxes and can move their limbs stiffly as if they were a robot are making literally hundreds of times as much. At this point, I would say that the only job that offers anywhere near that kind of earning potential is dressing up like Batman and allowing people to pose for photos with you. And those guys who play paint buckets like drums have historically done well for themselves. But honestly, the recession hit these professions pretty hard, and a lot of them are only making something like $800,000 a year at this point. It's barely even worth their time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can join us here, should you wish. You can call in toll-free to do that. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And you can bring up whatever happens to be on your mind. There's some interesting stuff in the news tonight, including a massive civil disobedience event, Operation Haircut. Have you heard about this, Derrick?
No, but it's a great name.
Yeah, I figured you'd like this one, given that you've got a bit of a civil disobedience history, and
I gave haircuts, too.
You know how to give haircuts. So Michigan is actually where this happened. We'll talk about that on the way.
Another country.
Well, it's certainly a ways away from here, and Michigan, the folks there deserve a lot of credit for being pretty strong in pushing back against a lot of these governors' orders, cracking down on people's freedoms. They've been outstanding there in Michigan. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. And as I said, it's Ian here tonight.
And Derrick J.
And Mark.
So we'll start out on that, but also right now the Libertarian Party is in the midst of doing their national convention, which they were going to have in Austin, Texas, but Austin canceled every convention. The city of Austin said to every convention that was going to happen, you can't happen in Austin.
Well, that's very progressive.
Right, real hip. So that's out. So what they had to do was, because there's certain ballot deadlines and such in various different states, they couldn't put it off. They had to have some sort of a semblance of a convention, and it is actually going on as we speak. They're doing an online convention. Of course, that's the new thing since the whole COVID situation, crackdown nonsense. People are not able to really have conventions. Most hotels are probably prohibited from even allowing them to happen. And so they've got basically 1,000 people on a Zoom call, and they're having their normal convention rigmarole, which is, for anyone who's ever...
Gosh, that sounds even worse.
It's awful.
Than meeting in person, which is already really bad.
It's really bad.
The Libertarians are so lame. Can I just say, like,
yes.
The only candidate worth paying any attention to is Vermin Supreme.
And he's getting a lot of votes.
And he should. But I see the chatter, and I'm in these libertarian circles, and all these big L libertarians who are actually going to have a say, actually going to vote on this, they're all talking names I've never heard of before, and they're not Vermin Supreme.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly endorse Vermin Supreme and have endorsed Vermin Supreme.
First of all, no one else has any chance. You pick a name that I've never heard of before, and I'm a libertarian.
And you're a libertarian. Well, Kokesh is in there.
What kind of game are you guys playing?
You know Adam Kokesh's name. He's in there.
Yes.
Yeah. He's not doing particularly well.
No, he's a big enough name, but that's not one that I've even seen circulated as a potential, like, that's not one that people really want to choose.
Well, plus Vermin is the right man for the time, I think.
Absolutely.
As far as,
always has been.
Well, but now he's actually embraced the Libertarian Party in a way that he hasn't before. Previously, he's really shown himself to be a fairly principled individual from what I can tell. He's taking the campaign a little more seriously than you would expect from Vermin Supreme. So he's still got all the usual Vermin Supreme jokes and shtick and the whole deal, but he's actually also talking about things like voluntarism and peace and love and things like that, which is, it's awesome. He's got a great message. And in this time where basically you have a president who is a troll, it takes Vermin Supreme to top that.
Yeah.
As far as the troll factor.
See, he should have run as a Republican. I was saying this since before
Against
he
Trump?
declared. Yeah, absolutely. Vermin should be a Republican. He's not even good. He's not even fully embraced by the Libertarians. What a slap in the face.
The Libertarians won't fully embrace anybody. I mean, that's just their nature. They're divided.
Yeah,
they constantly argue and fight with one another.
This should tell him that was a mistake.
Well, but Vermin has run as a Republican for president in the past.
Yeah.
It's been a few election cycles since he has, because he did Democrat last time around, and I think Democrat the time before that.
What I'm saying is, if he's going to get rejected by the party he chooses anyway, why don't you choose one of the big ones?
Well, I think he had a chance, and it's not over yet. They're still tallying up the first round of voting.
Prepare to be disappointed.
I think I've got the tally right here.
Well, I'm not expecting them to make the right choice. You got to remember, the Libertarian Party has made a piss-poor choice for the last 3 election seasons, nominating former Republicans, office holders, which
that
I
doesn't
don't
seem
think
to be a likelihood.
I don't think there are any of those running this time around, so that's good.
Vermin Supreme's in at number 3 at this time. This is the first round. It often goes much further, okay?
And can you give us a breakdown of the numbers, like how many votes he got?
Yeah, Vermin Supreme got 171.
Out, and then what was 2 and 1?
Number 2 is Jacob Hornberger, one of the ones.
Not
he's
bad.
Principled.
Yeah, I like the guy, and he's one of the ones that I'd like to see. And Joe Jorgensen, who is Joe is sort of like Josephine or something. It's a woman.
Yeah,
and she was the vice presidential nominee from the Libertarian Party in 1996. The first.
I'm so bored.
Something.
I think she might have been the first woman.
No, there was Geraldine Ferrara.
First loser.
Okay. Well, anyway, maybe the first female third party or something. She's got one of those first. Anyway, let's go to Art. He's on the line. If there are updates on this throughout the evening, we'll certainly let you know. They are slow going, though. It's literally been hours for this first vote. They started the meeting this morning at like 11 a.m. Eastern time, and it is now 7 p.m. Eastern time. They've just gotten to tally up the first votes. So let's go to Art. He's on the line, calling us from prison in Parnell Correctional Institution in Michigan. Go ahead, Art.
Yes, good evening. I just want to give you an update on the COVID-19 in prison. According to the Detroit Free Press, as of May the 9th of this month, they said that Michigan leads the United States in prisoner deaths at 50. According to their article, they actually showed all the different states. Ohio, per capita, per prison capita, we actually are second. Ohio's first. But as far as actual deaths at 50, Michigan, MDOC is number 1.
I'm kind of curious how this is going to go, right? So, whatever's happening is happening in the world of COVID, and politicians are doing whatever politicians are doing. But we can't forget that, pretty obviously, life will go on. And when life goes on, lawsuits are filed. Somebody in prison has plenty of time to file lawsuits. And there will be lawsuits. And one of the reasons that I think it's interesting is because the state or the government or whomever, at least in the United States and any English common law country and, most industrialized nations around the world, they take a responsibility when they choose to lock somebody up. Now, I'm curious what happens when, 70-year-old with a nonviolent crime dies of COVID in a Michigan prison. I believe Michigan's leading the nation on prisoner deaths.
That's what he
COVID.
just said to you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I'm thinking about things, looking stuff up, doing all this stuff. And I'm curious what's going to happen. Because, if we were talking about a nonviolent
Art, what's going to happen?
I'm sorry?
What's going to happen, Art?
Well, the courts are pretty hands-off, but, with all the people that have died now, and as long as we can get the family members of the deceased prisoners on board, it will go to a jury trial. They will settle out of court. Last week they settled out of court for $80 million for all the kids that got raped in here. So they're going to eventually settle out of court on this one. We're hoping to get injunctive relief. Like I said, there's there's an attorney from the U of M that's actually taken on another case, another lawsuit. So there's at least two lawsuits pending. The lawsuit I filed, the class action I filed, was with 50 other prisoners. I don't know how many the others they took. There's another firm that's actually talking about filing as well, because we have some very strong arguments. And of course, that's available on pacer.gov. You can just look up Rouse versus the Michigan governor. Now, just a couple more updates. They tested every single prisoner in the state of Michigan, which is approximately 38,000, checked it. And basically, they haven't given the results yet, but up to 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had 3,200 prisoners that were infected, of course, like 50 deaths or so. And then, of course, they did 2 tests on us within the last 2 weeks. We got tested for the antivirus first, and I think there was just like probably 90%. They haven't released it yet, but it was so high they came back and tested everybody for the COVID-19.
Art, keep us in the loop as that develops, if you like. Appreciate hearing from you. Certainly, if you're in the hands of the state, you cannot expect good medical services. You can't expect them to care about your health, and so that's, of course, one of the worst places you could possibly be would be in state custody. During a situation like that. There's more coming up here. Thank you for the call. 855-450-FREE.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. This COVID-19 thing has turned the world upside down. Regardless of what you believe about it, it has changed our lives. But what's not changed is that if you own a business, you need to advertise to reach new customers or clients. Our audience is not the kind to stick their heads in the sand during a crisis. They are fully engaged and more active than ever. Special advertising packages are available to you to help you not just recover, but thrive. Email my sales manager, Matthew at freetalklive.com.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi. My name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial in toll-free and bring up anything you want. Our number's 855-450-FREE. Coming up, I want to talk about what happened in Michigan. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, where multiple barbers gathered to give haircuts without permission in front of the Michigan State Capitol. And I thought that was a really cool protest. We'll talk about it coming up here in a moment. Of course, the government decided they were going to show up and issue tickets out for those heroic barbers who are willing to take that risk. Now they're going up against the state, and it looks like it's going to go to court. We'll tell you more about that. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian,
Derrick J,
and Mark.
And want to make sure you know about Forkfest 2020. It is coming up.
Yeah.
And it is going to be here before you know it. I mean, we are, 5 weeks out or something like that right now? It's coming up fast. It's going to start now. It depends on who you ask.
If you ask me, it starts June 22nd. I'll be there celebrating Forkfest June 22nd.
See, now that's an interesting thing, and I'm glad you're here to talk about it, Derrick J, because you and Steven, who unfortunately isn't with us tonight, but he's hard at work back at the NEPay headquarters.
Yep.
You guys were there for the first year, back when it was mostly called Somalia Fest, and then I think it was Daryl Perry who came up with the name Forkfest, and some people call it different things. But anyway, the idea was it was this decentralized libertarian camping festival that sort of sprung out from the Porcupine Freedom Festival. And in the past 3 years, this will be the 4th year for Forkfest, Somalia Fest, whatever you want to call it. But in the past 3 years, Forkfest has happened prior to the Porcupine Freedom Festival. And then last year, some of us who'd been for all the years kind of came to a consensus that we were going to do it after the Porcupine Freedom Festival in 2020.
Yeah, but that was given that the Porkfest, the FSP, was claiming all of the campground. So it wasn't possible to have them coexist.
Correct.
Except for in previous years. In previous years, they did coexist.
Well, when Somalia Fest first started, it was sort of like a little camping zone in the Porcupine Freedom Festival.
Yeah.
But you still had to have a Porcupine Freedom Festival ticket in order to attend that particular event. And what's changed this year is that there are no more tickets required to just simply camp at Rogers Campground during the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which means that for the first time, basically, Forkfest attendees can now attend Forkfest during the Porcupine Freedom Festival week.
Yeah.
Without you can still buy a ticket to the Porcupine Freedom Festival if you like. They're only $25 this year. But they've scaled down the Porcupine Freedom Festival to where it's only going to be like the pavilion and the field bowl area, from what I'm told. So they are no longer going to have total security lockdown on the rest of the park. So if you want to be there for Forkfest for 2 weeks, you can now, and that's what you're talking about.
Yes. There's no one in charge of Forkfest, right? So if you're there, it's happening. And I say I'm there.
2 weeks.
It begins June 22nd when I arrive.
So we had
or sooner if someone else says that
whenever you want.
Begins.
So we've been promoting June 29th until July 5th, and that will be the time frame where there will be no Porcupine Freedom Festival at all anywhere on the premises. But Forkfest can now be a 2-week-long event if you want it to be, and it sounds like you're leading the way with that, Derrick J. So I think Free Talk Live is going to be broadcasting for the full 2 weeks.
Excellent.
As a result of that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll look forward to seeing you there, whether you're attending the Porcupine Freedom Festival or Forkfest. We look forward to seeing you as late as July 5th. Maybe people will stay later than that, but I think basically the idea is It will end. The final night will be the 4th of July, which will be what little bit of independence we may have remaining. We will celebrate it there. And yes, you are welcome, by the way. If you're from out of state, the owner of the campground has assured me that if you are camping at his campground, you are a member of Rogers Campground, which means that you are allowed to be there even if you're from outside of New Hampshire, because there's all these pesky government orders that are threatening business owners. And luckily, there is a bit of a loophole that says if you're a member of a campground, then you're not restricted from being there. If you are not a member, they're not supposed to allow you in. But as long as you're staying, you're a member. So
wonderful.
You're good to go. If you were worried about it, go ahead and contact Rogers Campground this week. Get your reservations in for your spot at Forkfest 2020. You can go to forkfest.party and learn more about it. And again, it's June 29th until July 5th, or maybe it's June 22nd through July 5th. It is up to you how many of those days you want to call Forkfest. And we'll look forward to seeing you there. Dave is in New Hampshire, and you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, I have an update on New Hampshire's Shelley. You know, what's that lady's name in Dallas who is doing barbering in violation of the orders?
Oh, right. The Dallas salon owner, I think her salon's name was Salon a la Mode, and if I recall correctly, her name is Shelley Luther.
Okay, that sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
So New Hampshire's Shelley Luther is in action, and
really?
So she did a little bit of civil disobedience, but what she's done now is mostly going the legal route, and she's suing the governor. They have a lawsuit. I guess they're supposed to be heard on June 9th.
Yeah, I heard about that. She had filed a lawsuit basically saying that the governor's rules, they have this nonsense that they call stay-at-home 2.0 here in New Hampshire.
Do they really?
They do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can go to the governor's website and yeah,
it's digital.
It's that stupid.
I just hate these busy
It's so awful.
You know, at this point, I'm of the opinion, look, and I'm all for being the nicest guy you can most of the time, but I think at this point when you run into one of these busybodies, it's like, you're not social distancing, where's your mask, and all this other stuff. You've just got to shout them down and use a whole bunch of foul language, and then they'll probably...
Has this happened to you?
I have talked to people who said that it has happened to them. But no,
it hasn't happened to me.
No one ever's talked. You know, I don't know. I'm
excluding the times where I've been on the side of the road at an actual protest when you're more likely to be heckled. But just like going about normal life, going to grocery stores and restaurants and things like that, I have not yet been heckled or anything like that.
Oh, I haven't had any issues.
So,
Go ahead, Dave.
I got a chance to do a little bit of that today, and today was one of the first Saturdays that I can remember for a while that Reopen NH did not have a protest at the State House, or maybe they had them on Sundays or whatever. But anyway, they didn't. This is one of those Saturdays with no Reopen NH protest.
That's not true. That's not true. There was one this afternoon on in front of the Nashua, I believe, City Hall, because apparently this week Nashua, in all their wisdom, their city government gang decided to create a $1,000 fine for anyone who's not wearing a mask. So from what I understand, one of the guys actually who lives in this area, newer mover from Baltimore, he went down there and counted as many as 52 people at this protest. So it was well attended. It was very short notice. I think they threw it together within the last 24 hours.
Wow.
And so dozens of people without masks gathering in front of with various different signs and protesting this. And I did not hear anything about police presence or any arrests. So it sounds like the government goons stood down.
I just meant that it was the first one that didn't have a protest in front of the State House.
Oh, in front of the State House, yeah. But I know that the Reopen NH people were involved in promoting the thing that happened in Nashua. And Dave, if you want to hang on, we can continue this because there are some interesting updates about various protests. We haven't even gotten into what's happened in Michigan with the mass haircutting protests that happened a few days ago. And tomorrow morning, Hope Chapel in Keene, New Hampshire, our very own Keene, New Hampshire, is going to be holding a public service in real life. So more coming up.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, whoa, hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Holy crap. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derrick J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, inviting you to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord call-in line room, so feel free to join us there, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us over at discord.lrn.fm. It's our chat server. Folks have been in there throughout the day today, kind of commenting on the ongoing Libertarian Party convention. That, of course, is a bit of an S show to some extent. Watching these conventions is normally frustrating, and being at them must be absolutely very, very difficult, because it's just a group of ornery people who constantly fight with one another, and there's all this parliamentarian crap that goes on of Robert's Rules of Order and this
Point
and
of
that.
personal privilege.
All that crap. Yeah, and now it's all online, so arguably it may even be worse. Because people get to, hide behind their computers to some extent. But that's been going on. People have been chatting about that on our Discord server. There's different chat rooms there, and you can join and interact with other Free Talk Live listeners pretty much around the clock, and it's free over at discord.lrn.fm. Plus, the next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar right in their mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org, D-I-V-I project.org. So we're going to talk about the protest that got multiple barbers ticketed by the police in Michigan for, giving haircuts in public without asking government permission first. And we'll tell you more about that coming up here. But first, we go back to Dave in New Hampshire. We've been talking about some of the protests that have been going on here in New Hampshire. There were some pretty epic ones that happened over the last month or so in Concord. And you were just noting that this weekend, nothing happened in the state capitol. But that's because other things were going on. Yes, sir?
No.
No?
That's what I kept trying to tell you. I was at the state capitol today, and I did a one-man protest, and I talked the whole or most of the area around the state house.
Oh, wonderful!
With reopennh.com, and held a sign. And it wasn't super busy. There was an event today, but I just never gotten so many positive comments and so few negative ones. People would just stop. Oh, reopen! I love it. That's great. We got to do that. And I've just never seen this kind of
You're going to get a self-selection effect where it's more likely you're going to get positive comments because the kinds of people who are going to give you negative comments are probably staying home.
Okay, that could be it.
I love how the mailmen's their whole shtick is rain, sleet, or snow. Nothing will keep us away from our appointed rounds. And the politicians are like, oh my God, there's a virus that kills old people? We're not coming in.
Are you talking about in New Hampshire where they're not going to the state house?
It's hard to get politicians in any state to go to work right now. It's like, whoa.
Well, there was in Michigan when the big protest happened with the people that were open carrying guns into the state capitol, 2 or 3 weeks ago or whenever it was, the first one happened. They were there. The state politicians were there, and some of them even wore body armor because they were so frightened by the presence of men and women with guns.
Maybe this will be the thing that finally pushes state legislatures and maybe even the United States legislature over into the 21st century where they start, being able to attend these things virtually. I mean, really, what's the point in having a body in some rolling out some octogenarian and sticking them in some seat in a house? Why not, let them vote from home? Why do I have to pay, as a taxpayer, money for the travel of the people coming from the northern tip of New Hampshire to come down and spend the night and do all these things? They get their hotel rooms paid, they get their gas paid, they get all this stuff paid. What's the point?
Well, I got to say, I'm not a fan of this online meeting stuff for government bodies. I don't think that they should not have them available online. I think that, people should be able to watch these things, whether they are at home or whether they want to come in. And it's not that I think that these government goons actually listen to people when they come in there. I mean, we saw what happened with the Bearcat situation here in Keene years ago with this armored personnel carrier, and there were massive pushback by the people of this area, both Republican and Democrat, and no party affiliation folks. All kinds of people were pushing back against this. It was like, according to one city councilor, 90% of the contacts that they received told her to vote against this. And despite that, city council went ahead and voted for it. So I mean, these people do whatever it is that they want to do. Yeah. But somehow, I just feel like, Mark, being able to physically be in the room is a good thing. And now that's not even a possibility. Now you can't go in there and watch them. Now you can't stand there with your own video camera and get your own recording of what actually went down. You can't choose. They may have their own camera, right? Like, because they got their Zoom thing, they're sitting at home, so they've got a camera on them. But it takes away a lot of the availability for at least the feeling of being able to have some sort of an effect on things, even though the reality is you probably don't.
Isn't that good?
Well,
sorry, go ahead, Dave.
The Icelandic government was successfully thrown out by the Icelandic people in roughly 2010, and the way they did it is they would go to government meetings or maybe government people's houses if they're meeting from their house, right? And just bang on a bang on a pot as loud as they could. And they were going to all these government meetings, but we could do that at politicians' houses.
True. This is true. And we have gone to politicians' houses here in Keene over the years. Actually, it was during the Bearcat thing that we did go person to person to each of the city councilors' houses.
That sounds like such barbaric behavior. I mean, that is bad behavior, going around and banging pots. Why do that?
Well, I mean, it's something. What else could you do?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, you can't string them up from a tree.
That's really the point, and why I went to the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands is I don't think there is anything you can do. Mm-hmm. I don't think these people in politics care, and I don't think enough people out there in the real world care enough to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, frankly, a handful of activists, 100 activists, 1,000 activists isn't enough to get anything done. Watch them when they march on Washington, D.C. They have the Million Man March, whatever the heck those things are. Nothing happens.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I'm a human being.
Well, again,
I'm not a noisemaker.
People in Iceland might be the most civilized country in the world with the most peaceful people in the world, and that's what they did. They got out there with the pots and pans, and they made a lot of noise, and it worked.
Thank you, Dave. That's Dave Ridley, by the way, from RidleyReport.com. I check out his videos there. He's doing some cool stuff, confronting some bureaucrats and politicians. It's always entertaining to see that happen. But that's another thing that you can't do as well. Like, Dave, he likes to do these ambush interviews where he'll kind of just wait outside a government meeting with his video camera and then hit him with these hard questions. And usually they ignore him, but it looks bad when they do that. And now, if they're all at home for their meetings, well, how do you do
a lot harder?
How do you ambush them? They're just sitting in their house. So
why not just leave them alone and ignore them?
Well, I wish we could ignore them, but they won't ignore us. They will send men with guns to ruin your life.
Can't you just get away from them? There are no doors on Michigan keeping people in.
Yeah, but then where are they going to go?
Somewhere better.
Well, I mean, New Hampshire's arguably better, but it's not great. And actually, Michigan's had the best pushback, I think, of all of the states as far as protests and that sort of thing are concerned. I mean, they're the ones who've gone to the State House armed up. Now, the State House in New Hampshire is closed, so there's nowhere to go, although we've had some pretty great protests, and people have been armed in New Hampshire, so I don't want to make it sound like we're that far behind. But they're doing in-person protests involving civil disobedience, people giving haircuts openly at the state capitol. We can talk about that. The toll-free numbers, it's not perfect, though. We'll get into the details on it. 855-450-FREE. But it's something, and where else is this happening? If it's happening near you, we want to hear from you. What's going on? It's Free Talk Live.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
In today's world, violent crime can victimize anyone, anytime. When violent crime confronts you, will you be able to protect yourself and your loved ones? For personal protection training, there's none better than Front Sight, the world's premier firearms training facility near Las Vegas, Nevada. Learn firearm skills from Front Sight's world-class instructors, led by Front Sight's founder and director, Dr. Ignatius Piazza. Whether you're in law enforcement, the military, or a private citizen, after your first firearm training course at Front Sight, you'll leave with skills that surpass 99% of the gun-owning population, guaranteed. And now, you and your family can train at Front Sight free of charge. Yes, free. Go now to frontsight.com/radio Radio to secure a $2,000 4-day defensive handgun course. Absolutely free with no catch. Enter FRONTSIGHT.com/radio. Act now before these free courses are all taken. Secure your free 4-day course at frontsight.com/radio. Frontsight, America's gun training destination.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required, only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Thanks, by the way, to Mike Sayers, who is a Free Talk Live Silver amplifier. That means that Mike is contributing $5 a month to the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It is a way for you to get behind what we do here on Free Talk Live and help bring the ideas of freedom to more listeners across the United States and around the world. You can join the AMP program like Mike did over at amp.freetalklive.com, and you can sign up there with PayPal. You can use a credit card or Bitcoin BTC at ampamp.freetalklive.com. Here in the studio with you, it's Ian,
Derrick J.
and Mark.
Coming up, we'll talk about Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Hooray!
It was yesterday, but this is the first time we get to talk about it, so we'll get onto that coming up here in a little bit. We also have this story about the barbers protesting in Michigan, getting multiple citations from the government gang there. We'll tell you about that. But first, Jerome is on the line in Charleston, South Carolina, listening to WTMA. Hello, Jerome.
Greetings and salutations.
I have been waiting for your call, Jerome, because I have a question.
Yes. Well, wait no longer. I'm here for you.
Excellent. I want to know what you think about Joe Biden saying you ain't black if you're voting for Trump.
That's an asinine comment.
It certainly is.
That's
Like,
Hey, look.
there just happen to be some black people in the world that want to vote for Donald Trump. I don't know why, but I don't know why black people want to vote for Biden either. Go ahead.
You kind of think there's any way to defend that?
No, I don't.
Hey, so,
but I would.
okay.
But I knew that if there was somebody that would defend it, it would be you. So that's why I asked you.
There you go. Stereotyping people. There you go. Stereotyping folks. There you go. Oh, I know what your arm was doing. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to know, man. You know, you were the man that I thought of when I heard that statement, because I got several black people in my life that I could ask that question to. I didn't think about them. I thought about you.
Hey, you picking on me, but guess what?
I'm not
I got
trying
my
to.
big boy pants on.
Go ahead. That's your opportunity.
Yeah, but I just want to know. I can't defend something like that. That's indefensible. Yeah. But you will tell me how he can say, I like to grab women, and I'm not going to say it, so you don't have to don't get angry. And then women will still go out and vote for him. Women would campaign for him. Women would support him. Women would defend him. How? Because if Barack Obama had said that, it would be, as soon as those words left his mouth, Fox would be on 24/7 calling.
I can't even imagine.
Bill O'Reilly, Hannity, all of them, they'd be on, hey, we're going to bury him with this. But no. Oh,
that's so far from what Barack Obama would do that I can't even imagine him saying it. Like I don't even have access to a world where he might say that. So, but what I do have access to is a world where Joe Biden is accused of rape. But now Donald Trump may have talked about sexual molestation, but Joe Biden's is actually accused of it.
Hey, but you know what? Maybe you ought to try something new, like Janine Pirro did at Fox. Maybe you ought to do your show drunk. Like Drunk? She did that time. You didn't hear about that?
I don't know.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
We've had drunk co-hosts. We've certainly had stoned ones.
But another thing I got to ask you about before you got sidetracked. This thing about Trump going around celebrating veterans, okay, honoring veterans. How did someone with 5 deferments come off as patriotic, man? You explain that to me. You think Barack Obama could say, "Yeah, I got 5 deferments. I'm a true patriot"? They would laugh him off.
Are you referring to the Vietnam War deferments? Did he get deferred from that? Is that what you're talking about?
As LeBron James once said, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5. Okay.
Is that what you're referring to? I just want to make sure that that's what we're talking about. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. I was reading what he got 5 deferments. And his good old rich Daddy Warbucks helped him do it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that, rich political types don't have to go out and fight these dumb wars these politicians come up with. It's always, the little people out there. But even if somebody went out and did it, I don't think that makes them even more. I don't think it makes them qualified for anything. I just don't. But I don't get any of it. To me, I just don't get any of it. To me, what patriotism is cover for the behavior of liars and thieves in Washington, D.C. Because every time you wave that flag and you put your hand over your heart, you do all that stuff, you're not supporting the troops. You're not supporting the private out there peeling potatoes and walking around, doing circles in the sun for no reason and digging one hole to fill another. You're supporting the liars and thieves. That's what a politician is. That's what people define the colloquial definition of their names are, right? Liars and thieves in Washington, D.C. Patriotism is just support for them. Go ahead,
how is it that when Democrats lie, okay, they pay a price? When Republicans lie, they get elected. Explain that to me.
They all lie and they all get elected.
No. When Republicans lie, they get elected to the highest office in the land.
I see. Okay. I hear that you're upset about Donald Trump being the president of the United States. I got it.
He impeached Donald John Trump, who lied during his. No, he didn't lie.
Why don't you go to the Democratic National Convention and recommend that Michelle Obama be Joe Biden's running mate? Because I think that's his only hope.
The virtual. Oh, by the way, by him saying that, he has really boxed himself into a corner now. Ooh. He has to pick an African American female to be.
I don't think he has to. He didn't say a black woman. He said a woman.
Said he would.
No, he said a woman.
Well,
Woman
if
of
he
color.
doesn't, he can kiss the black vote goodbye.
Well, I think that, I don't know. So Kamala Harris is awful, right? Like, how many black people has Kamala Harris been responsible for locking up? I mean, she's lost whatever credibility.
She's a former attorney general, so quite a few.
Yes, she's lost whatever credibility she's got.
Jerome, thanks for the call tonight. I do appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE. Jonathan's in New Orleans. You're listening to the TuneIn app. That's where you've got Free Talk Live on. Go ahead, Jonathan.
How you doing? Yes, I was calling because I wanted to tell, basically, Donald Trump saved from bankruptcy in the early 90s from the Rothschilds. And basically, people don't have a choice. Like, all these presidents, I don't know how far it goes back, but basically they're not elected. They're selected. And that's why you see probably in the past 20, 30 years, a lot of our rights have been taken away a little bit at a time.
Hold on, John. I got a question for you, because I really felt like this whole conspiracy was put to rest with the election of Donald J. Trump. Are you telling me that the Schnurgenbergers really want to have Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton? I mean, for God's sakes, Bill Clinton was her husband. I mean, she was obviously the one that they expected to win.
Well, the game they play is divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they got a lot of people that they would piss off, especially the people for Donald Trump becoming president. And then now, with everything that's happening now with this pandemic, it's like the people really like. I agree with you. I agree with the guy that called from prison. Like, if we don't start standing up now, like, the longer we wait, the more basically I see it's all in a bunch of FEMA camps, and they're gonna. I think
it's too late to do anything about it, but too early to shoot the bastards.
Jonathan, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate hearing from you. Toll-free numbers 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Well, Derrick J., earlier you were, before we kind of, I don't know, we had to go to a break or something like that, but you were saying you thought people should just get out of Michigan or get out of these various places, but to where should they go?
Anywhere that's better for them. I mean, if they're in a place where things are not good, we have some amount of freedom to move around and choose better places to be. And I think that given the options that these people in Michigan have on the table for ways to increase their freedom, protesting is a pretty pathetic and useless one. And it's not going to produce the results that they want. And they would have better results just picking up and moving somewhere where they have their freedoms respected.
Right. I'm dealing with a bank that's giving me terrible customer service. Mm-hmm. As soon as I'm let into my account, I'm just going to empty it and leave.
Sure.
It's not as easy to sell your house and move to, any variety of places. I certainly wouldn't pick up from Michigan and move to New Hampshire unless you just happen to love snow. But there's plenty of places that could make you happier. The weather will be better. Whatever it is you're looking for.
Well, you've basically given up on New Hampshire. That's why you're telling people not to move to New Hampshire.
I've given up on the political process by and large.
There's more coming up here. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Well, the political process still wants to have your obedience, and they still want to have your money. So what are you going to do about that?
Leave whenever I feel like it.
The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Yeah, but not everybody can just leave, and wherever it is you go, there's a bunch of politicians there, too. Hour number 2 is coming up.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,740, silver at $17.68, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,193. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the Trump administration and local police are using cell phone contact tracing to track individuals for their own reasons. Further, beyond the coronavirus pandemic, the Trump administration has created a new national security watch list that includes Americans who have no connection to terrorism. The new Transnational Organized Crime Watch List was authorized through a classified Attorney General order and launched in 2017, according to a report from Newsweek. Activist Post reports the surveillance database allows the government to track and monitor Americans without a warrant, even when there is no evidence they're breaking any law. Also, anyone who is considered to be an authority, be it police to state and federal agencies, and even some allied foreign governments, can nominate any single person to the list. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Food prices have soared in recent weeks, while at the same time farmers are smashing eggs and dumping out milk. Farmers are wasting more food than ever, while most Americans are feeling a pinch at the grocery store. Activist Post reports that the power-hungry elitists have done their job, as the wealthy will get to eat while the poor, who are forced out of work, will just have to figure it out. A lot of Americans will soon be eating a lot less. Grocery prices spiked by the largest amount in nearly 50 years last month because of a draconian shutdown in most of the economy, including food facilities. There's now much more demand than there is supply, meaning that food will go to those who can afford to buy it. In addition to food factories closing, farmers are destroying their own products. An unprecedented amount of food is getting dumped even before making it into grocery stores. Around the globe, production is handled through what's known as just-in-time methods. The output from farms can be shuttled into stores or restaurants within just a few days, and the next batch of crops and livestock is ready to take its place immediately. America's billionaires saw their combined net worth soar by $434 billion between March 18th and May 19th, while the coronavirus pandemic killed tens of thousands of people and ravaged the U.S. economy, forcing more than 30 million out of work. That's according to a new analysis released Thursday by Americans for Tax Fairness and the Institute for Policy Studies, titled Tale of Two Crises: Billionaires Gain as Workers Feel Pandemic Pain. The Mind Unleashed reports the report shows that the 5 wealthiest billionaires in the U.S., Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Bill Gates of Microsoft, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway, and Larry Ellison of Oracle, saw their collective wealth grow by a total of $75.5 billion between March 18th and May 19th, a 19% jump. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Interesting new ad campaign from Applebee's, which is encouraging customers to visit the restaurant ironically.
They're designed to attract young people to Applebee's by inviting them to ridicule its food service and atmosphere. Here, take a look.
What do you guys want to do? We could go to Applebee's. No, let's seriously go to Applebee's. Look, guys, it's grilled.
It's just like my neighborhood restaurant, only completely geographically non-specific.
Yeah, nothing like a wild time at Applebee's, right?
Applebee's. Wouldn't it be funny to go to Applebee's?
I like
Isn't that
it.
persuasive?
Yeah.
But, they're not resting on their laurels. They're adding new menu items designed to be ridiculed outright, like the fajita cordon bleu and the chicken strip explosion.
Those sound ridiculous.
I know, but, so far this has been so successful that Applebee's is actually prepping a second series of ads aimed at customers who enjoy making fun of annoying young people who do things ironically.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. You're invited to those, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. All you have to do is join our Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. I recommend you install the app first, and then just pop in discord.lrn.fm into your web browser, hit the enter key, and you will be jumped right into our server in the Discord app. Very, very handy. It works well. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Derrick J,
and Mark.
Coming up, what happened in Michigan this week with a mass civil disobedience event on the state capitol steps where multiple barbers joined together to protest the COVID crackdown and give haircuts to people, and without government permission slips. So therefore, the government goons came out and they targeted them. We'll tell you what happened. But first, we go back to your phone calls and thoughts. And let's go first to Andrew. He's in Pensacola, Florida. Andrew, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I was calling in about, I just got back from New Orleans, and it's crazy. I went to the French Quarter. Everything is closed. Whoa. The mayor canceled all festivals. Mardi Gras for 2021. She's canceled all festivals this year, all cruises, all tourism, all everything. That city runs on tourism. There was nothing to do. They wanted my name and number before I was able to even go in the restaurant. It was so horrible. And also, I talked to some people, and they apparently just the other day, the city told all tattoo shops that they were going to be closed indefinitely.
Wow.
And the mayor is there. Her name is Latoya Cantrell, and she is on such a power trip that it's unbelievable. I mean, she's from Los Angeles, apparently, and I guess that's where she gets the socialism, and that's where she gets her the whole Mayor Newsom mini dictator attitude.
So you had to give your name and phone number in order to go inside a restaurant.
Yes, and and also there's something there that a local had told me that the rats in the French Quarter are actually eating each other since all the restaurants have basically been shut down and they have nothing else to eat. So there's literally like rat wars, and it's crazy.
Well,
the city,
in India, some of the cities are taken over by roving gangs of baboons. So count yourself
right?
lucky.
Wow,
they're hungry.
It's basically the Detroit of the South.
Damn.
I'm sitting here looking at a chart of deaths in the United States, and I mean, every week, right? Obviously,
COVID deaths or all deaths?
No, all deaths.
All deaths.
I mean, 50 to 60,000 people in the United States die every single week of a whole variety of things.
Sure. Heart disease.
I want to show
age.
you these shocking numbers, Derrick J. Look at the shocking numbers of what one would presume. Anything above the yellow here is a COVID death, presumably, and they're on their way down.
Yeah,
and
steeply.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, there's almost nothing there. Back in 2 years ago, the SARS deaths or whatever they were almost as high.
Andrew, why did you go to New Orleans, given the city is pretty much dead? What was the purpose?
Well, someone had told me that they had opened up the bars, but it was at 20% capacity. And when I went there, the only bars that were open were the ones that served like bar food, and they didn't really serve any drinks it's just literally. New Orleans runs on tourism, and she completely just shut everyone out of their job. And not only that, the retailers who depend on all the cruises coming in, and they depend on it. They're all just the only way I could put it is they're up Crap Creek, and not even in a canoe. They don't even have a paddle a canoe. They're just up Crap Creek. You know?
So you're in Pensacola, Florida. I mean, that's a 6-hour ride from New Orleans. I mean, are there
I would say about a 5-hour ride or something like that.
Are there no bars open in Florida at this time?
Well, there is, but some friends wanted to go, so I just went ahead and went with them because I told them that I wanted to go somewhere, in the Panhandle area, but they were like, like Destin or something. But they said they were insisting on let's go party in New Orleans. I said, look. They said the bars were open. Bottom line is, now I know why, if you look at New Orleans as a state, why it's shaped like a toilet.
Thanks for the call, Andrew. I appreciate it. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We've got a guy in our chat room and on our Discord server who over the past couple weeks, I think, has been posting photos. He's been going out, I don't know, like every night or almost every night, it seems like, going to local bars in North Florida where there's no social distancing going on. Everything's just sort of like normal as it's always been. People are playing darts and pool and, large numbers of people.
It's hard to control a bar. I mean, there's... people are drinking.
Well, I just don't know it sounds to me like Florida might be reopening faster than some other places.
Than they wanted to. I went to dinner a couple of weeks ago in Florida, and they had every other table closed.
Are you saying that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm saying it's a true thing.
Okay, gotcha. So you were able to go inside the restaurants. And in some cases, like here in New Hampshire, you can't do that. They are not allowing restaurants to open indoors, or at least that's what the governor's orders say.
It's going to be real hard to recover from this stuff, and it seems to be all the governors that are doing it.
The fact that people are
recovering. I mean, right? This is not going to change.
Well, it's the fact that people are going along with it.
Yes. They're going to keep going along with it because most people do what the government tells them.
That's right. And it's
so
pathetic.
That's never going to change.
No, it doesn't seem like it's going to change. And to come back around to what we were talking about before, the idea, if you don't like a thing, just leave the place and find a better place. I don't disagree. That's why I moved here.
Yeah.
And I like New Hampshire. I think
you hear where they're not opening the bars? Where they are? Where
New Hampshire's got some serious problems. And it's been a pretty big disappointment, honestly. I expected more from the so-called live free or die state, and there hasn't really been a whole lot of pushback here, and it's been unfortunate.
Nah,
I certainly didn't expect the state that I left, Florida, to take the first position as freest state in the union.
What were you saying?
That just because New Hampshire is the live free or die state doesn't mean that most of the people that aren't like everyone else and that they'll do whatever the government tells them to. It's just so happens that there's a movement of people who have relocated here, and we're the types of people who want real freedom in our lifetime.
We are, but even the libertarians
that's not enough.
Even the libertarians have been split by this whole COVID thing, because there's a certain group.
True.
There's a certain group within the libertarians who are like, well, we don't trust the government, but when the medical establishment says a thing, we'll do whatever we're told by a doctor.
Yeah.
And so
I think that if you want to stay home, you should stay home. And I think if you want to wear a mask, you should wear a mask.
Yeah.
I think whatever you want to do is something that you should do. And that, whatever. But it's when people are telling other people how they have to live their lives. Dear God, you're going to kill us all if you go out there and have dinner on a Friday night. Come on. If you go get a haircut, you're going to kill us.
The way I see it, like, government is like a natural disaster, right? And there's nothing you can do about a natural disaster. Nothing of that you can actually physically change.
You just hope your house doesn't, fall down in the earthquake or get blown away by the hurricane.
You do the best you can of being in a place where you think there are the best odds of you having the most freedom, and you live the best life you can. That's it. What else can you do? You're going to bang your head up against the wall, and you're going to get hurt trying to resist any of this stuff.
And not to mention that, I mean, like, here in New Hampshire, the greatest goal that we could possibly have is that we eke out a few more freedoms away from these tyrannical SOBs. We're number 2 freest state in the union, right behind Florida. And arguably number 1, depending on how you want to rank things. And you can do that. I think Cato.org does these rankings. But you get a few more freedoms, and then what happens? Well, people like freedom. People in the state get richer. They start living longer. All kinds of wonderful things happen. So what happens? All the people who want better lives from Maine and Massachusetts and Connecticut and Vermont, they move in. And what do? They vote the same old crappy way they've been voting forever.
Yeah.
And the Democrats get heavier, and then they just expand the state.
So you guys have basically given up then?
I'm
basically.
By and large,
absolutely.
I'm not unwilling to do something, but I don't expect it to do anything.
I don't think give up is the right term, but change strategies.
I want to be happy.
Yeah.
Okay. And if it makes me happy, I'll do it.
Do that. You should be happy.
But if it makes me unhappy, which is by and large what it does, I don't think I'm going to do it.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever you want here. This is Free Talk Live. What's your strategy?
Saddle up. It's new Dynavite for horses.
Dynavite does give you quick results. One horse, the first time I fed Dynavite to her, she took off running across the whole pasture as fast as she could. You could just tell she felt great. And it doesn't take much, just one little scoop in their grain. I've been feeding Dynavite to my 5 horses, and within 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in their coat and their behavior. NASDAQ was a 3-year-old thoroughbred, and I only had 8 to 10 weeks to get this horse in shape for the Retired Racehorse Project last year. Dynavite really helped him to relax his muscles, regenerate, rebuild, and stay physically and mentally fit for the job. We got top 20. You do see horses take in these 15 different supplements that are all going to overreact with each other, and I think that would make a very confused horse. Simple is so much better. I get my Dynavite from DINOVITE.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want. Take control of the airwaves. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You know, there's no better time than now to start learning about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. You can do that over at bitcoin.com. They got a great little intro. It'll teach you about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash at bitcoin.com. They've got an excellent news section as well at news.bitcoin.com. So whether you're brand new to crypto or you're old school, you'll find some valuable information over at bitcoin.com. Ian, Derrick, and Mark in the studio. We're going to go right back into your phone calls and thoughts. You can bring up anything that's on your mind. Let's start with Graham. He's listening in Erie, Pennsylvania via the iHeartMedia app. Go ahead, Graham.
Yeah, hi. That Michigan protest about that elderly barber, I don't think he should have advertised that he was still doing the barber cutting. Because sometimes, even if the government says you're not supposed to do something, sometimes you just have to do it, not tell anyone, and hope you don't get caught.
Well, there is something to be said for asking forgiveness rather than permission, but in the circumstance that they were dealing with there and that we're dealing with all across the country, is there's snitches all over the place.
Right, and freedoms aren't granted to those who ask for them. Mm-hmm. Freedoms tend to be granted to those who take them. So I think it's, I think that there's certainly a place for people who just say, yep, I'm going to open up and come what may. Yeah. He's 70 years old. What are they going to do to him?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that he should have just opened up and continued, but I don't think there's anything wrong with speaking about it and publicizing it, because other people need to see it happen. They need to know that it's happening to hopefully embolden them to take similar steps. And if more people were to have followed in his footsteps, and as we did actually see, a number of them did actually gather on the State House steps this week in Michigan and openly cut hair. When you start getting numbers of people together, then you start to get to a point where you can actually outnumber the state. And if you can outnumber the state and their agents and their enforcers, then they're more likely to leave you alone. If you're not all by yourself in your singular protest and you've got backup, right, it makes you more of a force.
To make that point, to put a finer point on that, here in Keene, New Hampshire, at one point we, the activists protest smoking marijuana. A couple of them got arrested, and then the activists walked to the police station and smoked in their lobby, and they didn't do anything about it because, they don't want the fuss.
Well, they didn't have dozens of cops on hand either, and there were at least 36 people in that police station lobby. They probably weren't more than 5 cops in the building.
And they never bothered the activists again.
pretty much. From that point. Graham, thanks for your call tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Let's talk to Mark. He's in Charleston, South Carolina, listening to WTMA. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, y'all. I guess mine's more of a question than a comment. I thought that a governor had a 30-day executive order on like an emergency, and then after that it was just supposed to be state legislator that dictated what was going to go down.
Are you talking about specifically in South Carolina?
No, I'm talking about on any state. I thought that like a governor had like 30 days.
There are some limitations, from what I understand.
I bet they vary from state to state.
To executive, or rather emergency orders, so-called powers. They do vary from state to state. Sometimes they can reissue, so they can, okay, well, the 3-week window is coming up. We can now reauthorize another one. We have to write another declaration of an emergency order or whatever. And presumably the state legislature could in some way override those things, given that in most places, from what I understand, they are legislatively issued so-called powers. So the governors that are issuing these orders are issuing them based on legislation. They're not like constitutional, I don't think, in most places that I've seen, and I have not done detailed research on this. I've certainly looked at New Hampshire, but ultimately it's just, people making excuses for controlling others. That's all it really is.
But I mean, could like state legislator, they could overturn a governor's executive order.
Yeah, I think that they could also strip his ability to make emergency orders at all. In fact, I saw the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. There's been some discussion of putting forth legislation that would actually strip the governor of his ability to issue those emergency orders. But of course, that's not likely to pass, I suspect. But nonetheless, it is an idea. Mark, thanks for your call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We go to Mary Lou in Tallahassee, Florida.
How are you?
Hi, Mary Lou.
Oh, hi. I'm good. Thank you. I wanted to comment on this opening up everything. In Tallahassee, we've been pretty much gradually opening up for the last month. All the beaches are open now. This place is rocking. I mean, I went shopping at Macy's last week. I went to a mall for the first time. So it's like everyone's wearing a mask pretty much and keeping the distance. Yeah. It's like bizarre. And I have to say, I didn't like Governor DeSantis.
Do they go into banks wearing masks?
Yes, they do.
I think it's so interesting.
I haven't been into a bank. I haven't been. I just gone through a drive-thru. I don't know. Everyone, I don't know. Everyone's pretty much keeping to it, but I have to say, Governor DeSantis got on this. I believe it was this station about 2 weeks ago, and he met with barbers and hairstylists, and they all had this huge conversation about safety precautions. And I don't have any reservations about anything. So I would have to say, except for South Florida, where there were some problems. The rest of Florida is pretty much rocking. The beaches are open. I mean, it's wonderful. So I'm thinking, what's happening to the rest of the country? I mean, are we going to let these governors run our lives? Because this is
apparently
ridiculous.
People are going to let the governors run their lives. They seem to be very happy with that.
Yeah,
it's pathetic.
Well, maybe we should think about not re-electing some of these Democratic governors. Because
well, they're not just Democrats. They're not just Democrats.
They're not. Okay.
Yeah, here in
it seems like the. Go ahead.
Here in New Hampshire, there's a Republican governor. And he is just as bad as some of these Democrats.
No
out
matter
there.
who you vote for, the government always wins.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And although I will give her this, I mean, it is true that as far as the restrictions are concerned, the states with the least restrictions
tend to be more red.
They all have them, but the ones with the least of them are the redder of the states.
That's the story of being a libertarian. You just have to sort of pick between the two parties on whatever issue it is.
I don't have to pick anything.
Well.
With these people.
Yeah, the correct answer is neither.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with them. Unfortunately, they just won't leave me alone. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate your call tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, which is why I think people who care about freedom need to come together. I still believe that is the best goal. And now, even though you guys have sort of changed your strategy, as you were talking about before, not that you've given up, but you're changing your strategy, just kind of trying to, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like live life and do your best to ignore the state. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Well, I have new information, from having lived my life, made choices as to how I'm going to increase freedom in my life and then see the results of that. I've adjusted my strategy. It's more about accumulating capital and having personal freedom. The personal freedom to do the things that I want to do. If I can do those, then I'm winning.
Do you still think it would be a good thing to move libertarians together to the same place? Would that increase those things?
Yeah, I think that's good for most people. I think it makes us all safer and better.
Well, I think libertarians need to step up and make the move to New Hampshire as soon as possible, because before you know it, you might not even be able to leave your state. More coming up.
This COVID-19 thing has turned the world upside down. Regardless of what you believe about it, it has changed our lives. But what's not changed is that if you own a business, you need to advertise to reach new customers or clients. Our audience is not the kind to stick their heads in the sand during a crisis. They are fully engaged and more active than ever. Special advertising packages are available to you to help you not just recover, but thrive. Email my sales manager, Matthew at freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Live Saturday edition of the show. You dial toll-free and join us on the radio. Our number, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Intercoin is built to help democratize power to the people and their local communities. Cryptography enables people to hold secure and private elections about any matter of community governance and could even be used for securely tallying and reporting results for national elections. Intercoin has also pioneered provably random polling that is unaffected by poor voter turnout or spoiler effects. It can be used to continuously adjust levers of monetary policy, such as how much UBI to issue the next day. Intercoin is attempting to regain some of our freedoms that are threatened on the internet and in meat space. We think that's important here on Free Talk Live. So important that Free Talk Live accepted $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens from Intercoin Incorporated for advertising. If you think freedom is important too, check out intercoin.org. That's intercoin.org. You can invest in this project and potentially make big gains or just be involved and perhaps shape its future. Intercoin.org. We go to Steven Zeiler. He is on our Discord call-in lines.
Yay.
Calling us from Portsmouth. Hey, Steven.
Hi, Steven.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Speaking of strategies for getting more freedom in these times, I moved to Portsmouth, New Hampshire as part of the Free State movement.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are right. Lots of people around here do exactly what the government says or whatever His Excellency, whoever's in power. But there are others who don't care or aren't even paying attention to what the feds or the governor or whoever says. And I think it's really important. You guys said it's very important to get together with people, but I think even more importantly, to connect economically with people who are disregarding these silly rules.
I agree.
Like, I go to businesses who, once the couple weeks were over, when it seemed like this this was months ago. It seemed like there were 2 weeks maybe when you should have worn a mask, maybe. Once that was over, some businesses, they stopped wearing masks and they didn't have any rules about it. And so I only go there, and places who are just blindly following the rules. I mean, there's a place nearby I wanted to go to. They don't accept cash anymore. They're like literally afraid of paper cash. They're afraid of it. So I don't go there anymore. I'm not going to go there anymore.
Right.
And it's really happy that I can connect economically, because that's really what matters in your life. Everyone's talking about going to stores and bars and malls. Well, if you only go to places where they're run by people who prefer freedom, then you're going to have way more freedom.
But your choices are severely limited in that case, at least in my experience. Now, it seems to me like even business owners who appreciate freedom are still afraid of the government. So it's one thing to say, if I'm going around and I go out all the time, right? Like my life has not changed one bit because I work from home generally, but I'm always out doing things and doing things around town or whatever. And so when I'm out, if I'm out shopping somewhere, I'm taking note. Whether it's in the grocery store or at Walmart or just walking down Main Street or whatever, I'm noting in my head what percentage of the people, what portion of the people am I seeing wearing masks and what portion not. And I'm seeing a decent percentage of people who aren't wearing masks out and about. However, most of the business owners are too afraid to do anything outside of whatever they're expected to do.
I don't know that masks are even a good thing to rate this by. I wear a mask when I go out because, for one, I like the idea of wearing a mask when I go out. Like, wow, this is really awesome. They can't track me with facial recognition software.
They'll just track you with your phone.
They could if they wanted. If I wanted to, but I can put my phone in a little Faraday cage, and suddenly I'm not being tracked.
I'm not telling you it's a perfect situation, Mark, but at a glance, if I can see that half the people are wearing masks and half of them aren't, at the very least, I know the half that aren't afraid. And so those are the kinds of people that I'm
in the car.
More likely to, if they're afraid, then they're going to go back to the car and get it. So those are the people that are more likely to be people who I could appreciate, and so I'm taking note of that. But with business owners, and I don't want to name names here, but there's a particular local business that is, I know for a fact, freedom friendly. Okay, and you guys know who these folks are too. They make some really delicious food in this area, and I said to them, because the gentleman who is the owner of the shop had a mask that was pulled down when he was dealing with us, and I said to him, hey, I just want to say I appreciate the fact that I can see a human face. I find these masks to be inhumane. I think they reduce the ability for you to make contact with another human being and connect with them and see their expressions and have a real human interaction. And so I complimented him for doing that. And that's when he made a statement about how he has to play the game.
Yeah.
He has to play the game not only because the government's going to come down on him, but also because there's a certain number of customers that he has that expect him to do this. And he says it's kind of like this tricky process of figuring out what this customer wants versus what this other customer wants. Because some customers are like me. We want to be in normal world where we can actually, deal with a human being like another human being. And then there's these other customers that want to be in the medical authoritarian state world where they want everybody to have a damn mask on. And this poor guy, he's just trying to, make food for people and make people happy. Right. So he's stuck in this difficult place where not only does he have two different viewpoints from at least two different viewpoints from groups of customers, but the group of customers who wants to have this medical authoritarian state is more likely to call the state on him and snitch him out. I was at another business today where again, I wouldn't say he's a freedom person, but he's friendly enough to cryptocurrency, and so I like him for those reasons. But at this other business that I was at, I was told that the state has been targeting him, that the city gang has come to and issued him some sort of a written notice or some sort of a threat because there's too many people on his porch. There's too many people that are eating outdoors. So in New Hampshire, you can legally have people eat outdoors, but there's all these stupid rules that are attached to it. All the tables have to be 6 feet away from one another, and people have to be in masks. And of course, no one's in a mask outside on this porch.
Why would you be in a mask outside?
Not a single
person. And how could
person.
you eat with one on?
Oh, well, you're allowed to take the mask down while you're eating.
Yeah.
According to the government's arbitrary rules. But no one's wearing a mask outside. Only the staff from the restaurant are wearing masks. And nonetheless, from what I was told by one of his staff members, snitches who've driven by have taken photographs of the people eating on the porch, sent the photographs into the city, and city gang members came down and threatened this man.
This is what I'm talking about like we're on a plantation.
Yeah.
And it used to be a little more free, but when you scare the sheep, they're going to get all upset, and people are going to get whipped if you try and do anything outside of what the masters allow on the plantation.
Well, and that's the hard part because, while there's a bunch of people in New Hampshire who want this, they want the freedom, the business owners aren't willing to put their freedom on the line. No. Understandably, it's not why they got into business to do this, and as a result, the medical authoritarian state gets worse. What do you think, Stephen?
Look, you're totally right. There are way fewer options when you only go with people who are more aligned with what you believe in. And yet our actions every day compound over time to where before you know it, your life is totally way more free than it could have been in the past if you hadn't taken just small adjustments whenever you saw someone who was more friendly toward choices and freedom. And so yes, you can see a reduction in your options, but in the long run, personally, I'm way happier now that I don't even have to think about should I go to this place or that place. I go to the place that's more honorable, and I'm happy. But then also, it's very important to know that in 3 weeks, for 2 solid weeks, we have an opportunity to serve each other economically at the New Hampshire Freedom Festival. It's a competition to see who can bring the most goods and services and earn the most money from other people who love freedom.
And I suspect there will be wide violations of the social distancing rules that these government goons have put into place.
It's just going to be people living their lives.
The New Hampshire Freedom Festival. Well, that's what they don't want to happen. Stand by, Stephen. If you don't mind, stick with us. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys have planned, because I think the Any Pay Dome is coming back to the Freedom Festival. This is Free Talk Live.
This is a pandemic survival alert, and the most time-sensitive messages you will hear this year. You still have time to plant a 1-acre crisis garden and secure a supply of your own nutrient-dense food. But time is running out, and it's one deadline you don't want to miss. Who should plant a crisis garden? Individuals, families, churches, communities, anyone or any group that sees hard times ahead. Let's face it, even the mainline media is talking about food supply disruptions and the growing number of grocery store workers who are becoming sick. But there's more. Meat packing plants are closing, mile-long lines at food pantries, and more farmers now in financial trouble. The truth is, growing nutrient-dense vegetables this summer may be the single most important thing you do. Go to survivalseedbank.com and watch the new video to understand what we're really up against. Get free bonus seeds, special quarantine reports too. Don't wait, every minute counts. Go to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com. You know what's really smart?
Wash your hands frequently, practice social distancing, and stay home if told to do so.
You know what's really dumb?
To ignore your immune system.
Right now, more than ever, your health depends on a strong immune system.
The experts at Immunocorp will give you their 7-step guide to immunity for life, free.
Why? Because we want you to be smart and healthy.
Simply call 800-446-3063 or click immunityforlife.com.
Immunocorp has been producing the world's leading immune system products for more than 2 decades.
To get your free 7-step guide to immunity for life, call 800-446-3063. 800-446-3063.
Be smart. Don't ignore your immune system. Your life depends on it.
Call 800-446-3063 or click immunityforlife.com. Immunityforlife.com.
Well, today was an historic occasion in Pennington.
That's right, Diane. The entire town turned out to honor Paul Webster, the area's one gay man with Pennington's first ever Gay Pride Parade. Paul, a 33-year-old hardware store owner, was too shy to ask for a parade, but that didn't stop almost 2,000 residents from showing their support for his homosexuality. Mayor Sue Hallinan organized the parade and even chipped in some of her own money to pay for decorations.
Well, I was channel surfing one day and I came across a program about the Gay Pride. Next time I went to the hardware store, I said, Paul, we're going to throw you a parade. And he just said, oh, please don't do that. I don't want that. I beg you. He just didn't want us to go to the trouble.
He doesn't want to ride on the penis float. He gets motion sickness, so we're going to have him hold the reins instead.
And Penningtonians have already decided on a fairy tale theme for next year's parade.
Oh, that'll be great.
And if Paul has a boyfriend, they can both be dressed up as kings.
Terrific idea.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. You dial in, toll free, bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-33 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Still to come, the details on what happened in Michigan this week with a massive barber protest. People standing out in front and sitting out in front of the State House, receiving and giving haircuts to folks. You can, we'll tell you more about that coming up here. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Derrick J,
and Mark.
Don't forget, you can join us online anytime you want. Go to freetalklive.com. That is where you can download a myriad of episodes for more than a decade. At your leisure, you can, of course, watch us on our webcam feeds while we're live and or later on. Head over to freetalklive.com where you can do that. We got Steven Zeiler still on the line with us. He's calling us from Portsmouth, New Hampshire at AnyPay headquarters. AnyPayInc.com is y'all's website, AnyPayInc.com. Really outstanding blog, by the way, Derrick J, that you posted to the AnyPay blog, which folks can go and check that out. It's all about Bitcoin Pizza Day that happened yesterday. And Stephen, I think you were at this Bitcoin Pizza Day as well.
I was at the Bitcoin Pizza Day. It was such an honor to connect with another person who owns a business in a nearby town who loves freedom. Especially freedom and choice of currency, and he doesn't just do what the authorities say. Only use the dollars, which everyone can see now are losing value rather rapidly. And that's like your listeners probably hear about Bitcoin all the time, but it's awesome to connect with people who actually want to accept Bitcoin in their business because it's a clear indicator that they're thinking. And they're not just doing exactly what the authorities or the media have been telling them for so many decades.
Now, I read the story last night that you wrote, Derrick J, and I thought it was really well done. This business owner approached you guys, isn't that right?
Yes.
That's always cool when that happens, right?
Yeah, I had been meditating on it and really intensely, and then the next day this guy in the morning just walks in and bang just
sign me up.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's so cool. It's nice when you don't actually have to go out there and shake the tree to find somebody.
Yeah, it's like the stars are aligned. It was a really good moment in the universe.
When did he come in prior to, how far in advance of Bitcoin Pizza Day did he come into your shop?
A couple of weeks.
Okay.
So he came in, he set up AnyPay in 2 minutes flat. It was wow, it was really easy. He had to run. And
it's that easy. You just download the AnyPay Cash Register app.
Yeah,
right?
He had an advantage because he already had a Bitcoin wallet.
Okay,
so he was able to
save you 5 minutes.
Yeah. So he was able to copy and paste those addresses. Couldn't believe that he could take a payment that easily. Was like, wow, that's it. And that's everyone's reaction.
Right. Well, of course. I mean, if you're a business owner and you've ever set up a merchant account with a credit card processor, it's like days and days and waiting and forms and approvals and technical. It's a mess. It's so confusing.
Well, this is easy. It's an app, and then you can take Bitcoin
and other cryptocurrencies.
Right. And if you put in your business name and location, then you get added to the AnyPay map. So that's pretty cool. When people pay you, other people who want to use Bitcoin can find you. And we went to his business, bought some hot wings and some beer. He
was
took
this
the
before
payment.
Bitcoin Pizza Day?
Yeah, just to do a test run, and then he was like, wow, my cashiers could do this right from their phones. And then, so before Bitcoin Pizza Day, I went in a little early, showed the cashiers how it worked. They were happy.
Perfect.
Everything's great.
I love it. Stephen, what else did you want to share with us tonight? Was there anything else?
Yeah, so at the Freedom Festival coming up.
Oh yeah, right.
For people who don't know, the most important. Okay, so I was listening to the Tom Woods show today. He's an awesome economist, very popular for libertarians, and today's show was all about the Porcupine Freedom Festival, the New Hampshire Freedom Festival.
Oh, great!
And he realized how important it is to get together in the face of all this nonsense. But the one thing that they missed, which is the crucial component of the Freedom Festival, and which is my favorite part, is people creating a market to serve other libertarians for profit. And it's really the most awesome place. There's so many people who will provide services in exchange for bitcoins or currencies that are more open-minded than just the mainstream media currency.
Well, last year there was a lot, at least at Forkfest, of cryptocurrency use. I think almost every vendor there had AnyPay installed and was accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash. I think those were the top two. Bitcoin, not so much. BTC, Bitcoin, not so popular. but a lot of people taking Bitcoin Cash, and it was a huge success for alternative currencies, and it was thanks to you guys.
Yeah, and this year we are making it even easier for people to accept payment, even when they're not present at their campsite. There's a lot of items you can buy and leave money there to get things. And also, even when the merchant has a spotty internet connection, we've made ways to accept payment without even having to be online at all. So that's really cool because it's in the woods. And so I'm looking forward to we will be there helping anyone at all who wants to easily accept new kinds of Bitcoins in their business at the Freedom Festival.
Now tell me about the dome before you get into that and whatever the end was. I saw something.
The end is the dome.
I didn't look at the details. Are you guys like hiring people to help put the dome up this time around? What's going on with that?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So for anyone who wants to earn some Bitcoin, we're paying $20 an hour on Monday, June 22nd. If you're going to be at the beginning of the festival, which lasts 2 weeks through July 5th, and at the end also to help us take down the dome, you can help us, and it's really fun. So anyone coming
I
to
did
the
it
festival,
last year, and I had a great time. It was the best. In my opinion, it was the highlight in the entire event was putting up the dome.
It was pretty fun.
It's going to be less exciting this year, Mark, because we kind of know how to do it now.
I know.
So it'll be less
Well, I do
insane.
too. I'm ready to go there and just be in charge for free. No, okay, no. Now we got to put this one in.
Oh, good. Mark's the foreman.
Just what you need,
last
more
year
chiefs,
we learned
Indians.
We learned the hard way because we tried putting it together at night, which was a big mistake. We couldn't tell the difference between the orange and the yellow colors on the ends of the,
That was bad.
the pipes.
That was bad.
Couldn't
But
figure out why it wasn't going together right.
But it ended up
This
being
year
really
will be
cool.
great.
Yeah, it did.
And anyone who wants to come by the dome at any time, we'll help them learn how to use Bitcoin or use it more effectively or use it when they're offline. And then also on Saturday night, right in the middle of the 2-week festival, we are having the Space Disco.
Ooh.
And it is a outer space themed costume dance party. And it is the biggest party happening at the festival, without a doubt.
Oh, it's the biggest party happening above a certain parallel.
You may be right. This may be the only party happening in all of America.
Right. There's no Burning Man this
summer.
year. They canceled Burning Man, so the Anipay
so
Dome
if you
is
wanna
where it's
wear-
at.
If you want to wear a space helmet to protect yourself from respiratory infections, then that's perfect. But it's going to be awesome, and it's a couple dollars, but you have to pay with Bitcoin to get in. It's very exclusive. But we've hired some amazing lights performers, and there's going to be dancers, and great music. It will be a blast.
Very cool. Steven Zeiler from Anipay, thanks for giving us the rundown. And, of course, this is all coming very soon. So start making your plans to get up to New Hampshire.
And
Yes, sir.
lastly,
Yes.
last thing about the festival this year, there's way less regulations and rules. Basically, it's like we almost have destroyed all of the authoritarian nonsense related to the Freedom Festival. It's for anyone following along the saga, there's going to be no official events. There's no paid speakers, and there's only a few rules that they still are kind of clinging on to. But it seems like anyone can go to this whole festival, and all you have to do is get a campground. And definitely anyone's welcome to purchase a ticket to the Space Disco.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Steven Zeiler from AnyPayInc.com. And we're going to continue with other of your calls and thoughts. We have Jeff. He's in Port Orange, Florida. Jeff, you're on Free Talk. Oh, wait, that didn't come up. Jeff, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you for having me on,
Yes,
guys.
sir. Please, go right ahead.
I just wanted to make an observation. I haven't heard anybody make it yet. The first Batman movie, I think it was Jack Nicholson as the bad guy, the Joker, whoever it was.
Yep.
And he had somehow poisoned all the toiletries and cosmetics, and no one could use them. And all the people on TV, the announcers, were starting to show up with pebbles on their face, and they couldn't get haircuts and hairstyles and all that. And I just thought it was really unique that the first thing, they closed down and this, pandemic thing, was the fact that it was all like toiletries and cosmetics and all that kind of stuff. And I just thought it's very like prescient, that somebody picked up on that, back in the movie in the day, almost like they read the future.
Wow, I have not seen that movie in 30 years or whatever.
Right,
so
however long it's been.
Don't remember anything about it. Jeff, thanks for calling and sharing that with us.
Maybe I should.
I appreciate it. The toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Hour 3 is coming up, the live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live. You can join us.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now's your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,740, silver at $17.68, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,193. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the Trump administration and local police are using cell phone contact tracing to track individuals for their own reasons. Further, beyond the coronavirus pandemic, the Trump administration has created a new national security watch list that includes Americans who have no connection to terrorism. The new Transnational Organized Crime Watch List was authorized through a classified Attorney General order and launched in 2017, according to a report from Newsweek. Activist Post reports the surveillance database allows the government to track and monitor Americans without a warrant, even when there is no evidence they're breaking any law. Also, anyone who is considered to be an authority, be it police to state and federal agencies, and even some allied foreign governments, can nominate any single person to the list. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Food prices have soared in recent weeks, while at the same time farmers are smashing eggs and dumping out milk. Farmers are wasting more food than ever, while most Americans are feeling a pinch at the grocery store. Activist Post reports that the power-hungry elitists have done their job, as the wealthy will get to eat while the poor, who are forced out of work, will just have to figure it out. A lot of Americans will soon be eating a lot less. Grocery prices spiked by the largest amount in nearly 50 years last month because of a draconian shutdown in most of the economy, including food facilities. There's now much more demand than there is supply, meaning that food will go to those who can afford to buy it. In addition to food factories closing, farmers are destroying their own products. An unprecedented amount of food is getting dumped even before making it into grocery stores. Around the globe, production is handled through what's known as just-in-time methods. The output from farms can be shuttled into stores or restaurants within just a few days, and the next batch of crops and livestock is ready to take its place immediately. America's billionaires saw their combined net worth soar by $434 billion between March 18th and May 19th, while the coronavirus pandemic killed tens of thousands of people and ravaged the U.S. economy, forcing more than 30 million out of work. That's according to a new analysis released Thursday by Americans for Tax Fairness and the Institute for Policy Studies, titled Tale of Two Crises: Billionaires Gain as Workers Feel Pandemic Pain. The Mind Unleashed reports the report shows that the 5 wealthiest billionaires in the U.S., Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Bill Gates of Microsoft, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway, and Larry Ellison of Oracle, saw their collective wealth grow by a total of $75.5 billion between March 18th and May 19th, a 19% jump. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
In order to more accurately portray the risks of smoking, the FDA has approved putting a picture of Trish on the cover of all cigarette packs. Clinical trials suggest that images of diseased organs, corpses, and deformed infants all prove less effective than a single photograph of Trish smiling. Smokers can expect to see the graphic campaign as early as next month, paired with a simple line of text that reads, "Cigarettes cause Trish." In Science News, a new study finds that every style of parenting inevitably produces disturbed and miserable adults.
Despite a great variance in parenting styles across populations, from overprotective to permissive, the end product is always the same, a profoundly flawed and joyless human being.
One bright note of the study, adults can find temporary happiness when they're able to perpetuate the cycle of human misery by having children. In other news, the Pulitzer Board adds a giant pumpkin category, and a local man's utter failure in life is a bit of a sore spot. For more news, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of this program where you can, as always, take control of the airwaves and bring up whatever is on your mind. Tonight it's Ian,
Derrick J.,
and Mark.
We're going to get back into your phone calls and thoughts, plus the Michigan Barber protest that harkens back to something that happened here in New Hampshire more than a decade ago. If you recall, there was the Outlaw Manicurist event that happened here way back. It was actually before I even moved here. It was, I think, 2005 when an activist protested the idea of business licensing. The idea that you should have to beg government permission, ask these bureaucrats to deem you okay to go out and give somebody a manicure, or in this case, cut someone's hair. And we'll talk more about what happened in Michigan coming up here in moments. But with you, we're going to go to your calls and thoughts first. We go first to Mike. He's calling from Maine, listening to WLOB. Hello, Mike.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Greetings from Stalag, Maine.
Welcome.
God, man, I'm telling you. I wanted you guys to know you got some real freedom fighters up here.
Really? Like what?
You know, well, you got Rick Savage over there. He runs Sunday River Brew Pub. He was the first one to stand up. He was the first one to stand up and say, "No more of this."
And now, didn't they take his so-called license and liquor permit away from him, and then he reopened anyway?
Yeah, well, he got in. They filed a major lawsuit up here against the governor and the state of Maine.
Mm-hmm.
You got a radio guy over here by the name of Ray Richardson, and great guy. And he's been driving a train on this, and he got some people together to file a lawsuit against the governor and the state of Maine. And Rick jumped in on the lawsuit. It's now become a class action. But the people up here in Maine have had it with this, and the real freedom fighters are standing up. We've been up to the State House, 3 rallies already. I'm going to tell you something right now. People didn't have masks on. They shook hands. They hugged. It was up at the State House. Now, what we've been trying to figure out is Rick served 800 people in his restaurant the day before they shut him down.
Mm-hmm.
We've had thousands at each rally up there. And there seems to be no outbreak anywhere. Now, you would think if this is that bad, there would have been an outbreak from Rick's restaurant.
Right.
There would have been an outbreak from the rallies. We've got another rally scheduled the 30th. But I got to tell you, these people are standing up here. And I got to tell you, man, political, it has nothing to do with it. There's Democrats, Independents, Republicans, Libertarians. They're all there. They're all standing up. And I'll tell you, man, I'm amazed.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And we did talk about Rick and his restaurant on the air here on Free Talk Live, and that's what I want to see. I want to see more business owners like that, where he stood up, he made a stand, and took a risk. And that I wish we just had more people like him. Unfortunately, we don't.
Well, we've got another one up here in Brunswick, Maine. She runs a salon. It's more or less a therapy salon. They let all the other beauty salons open, but they still won't let her. Her name's Miranda Brannigan. Great girl.
So what's she doing? Is she opening anyway?
No, they literally shut her right down.
What does that mean?
Look, dig this. This girl was 19 years old, single mother. She went to school at night to get this, cosmetology license. She's worked her butt off all her life. And they literally took her. She's 17 years she's ran this place. And they literally took it away from her,
So what is she doing exactly? I mean, you said she's not going to reopen. What is it that she is doing?
She can't. They've literally, done everything they can to keep her shut down.
What does that mean? Does that mean that they've brought cops out and stopped her physically from entering the premises, or what?
Look, she's a young mother. She can't afford, in a young marriage, she can't afford to have. I'm telling you, they're throwing it away to the government.
Yeah, they're scary.
Yeah, this governor over here is just overwhelming.
Well, what happens is it'll come down to hundreds of dollars a day in fines, is what it is. So most of these business owners. And I addressed this in an article I wrote recently. And, Mike, thanks for calling and sharing that with us. I do appreciate it. That I wrote this weekend over at freekeen.com, all about this, sort of just my general thoughts on what's been happening. I titled it "The Real Virus is Fear and the Belief in the State," because you do have these examples of these business owners here and there throughout the country that have been getting some news media coverage. You mentioned the salon owner, or somebody mentioned the salon owner in Dallas. She got a lot of media coverage.
Yep.
And none of these business owners are really, I mean, while they are challenging to some extent the status quo, not a single one of them, I don't think that I've heard of, is like, well, I'm just going to reopen my business how I want to. Meaning I don't want to have masks on in my business, But like the salon owners are, oh well, we want to reopen our business. We'll put masks on. We'll do social distancing. We'll make everybody stay in their cars. There's all these rules that they've applied. They're trying to appease, while at the same time saying, okay, I still want to open even though you're not going to let me, but I'm going to open with all these restrictions. So it's not like anybody's really just been like, you know what, we're opening like we used to. Come on in. Enter at your own risk.
They will get hammered.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
You can't do that.
I know.
The only way you could do it is just to let your regular customers know that you're going to do that quietly, and you're just going to keep operating. And there have been plenty of businesses around Portsmouth and New Hampshire that operated that way, that were like, we're just going to stay open. We're just going to do our thing. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to go to the newspapers and say we're big heroes because we're doing this. Because you know what's going to happen? We're going to get shut down.
To get crushed.
Yeah, we're going to have lawsuits. Do we need that? Are we in business to fight the government, or are we in business to make money here? Like, we're here to serve our customers, and let's just focus on doing that.
That's the thing. I don't blame a business owner for doing that. That's why they got into their business, was to help people get whatever product or service that they wanted to bring to the marketplace and help their customers. But unfortunately, as long as the government gets to tell them what to do, then their business can be ruined in a moment's notice by some arbitrary diktat coming down from on high. And if what you're saying is true, that a bunch of business owners did quietly continue operating, I'll say this. I don't know a single restaurant that did. Do you?
Yes.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how they did it, but I certainly don't want to call them out.
They must have some really good customers who didn't tell all the wrong people, because there's a bunch of snitches out there that'll ruin your day.
It's easy to play the game. You just learn what the rules are that they want you to do, and then you pretend you're doing that, and you just keep doing what you need to do.
Let's talk to Milton. He's in Bacon, South Carolina. Milton, you're on Free Talk Live.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to bring up a strong point that just like any other pathological liar that you have ever met, you can trace it back to the beginning of our founding fathers, who said they discovered America and then write Bill of Rights and Constitution, and yet they discovered there were already people there. So how was it discovered? So let's stick to being constitutional, since that was, at least works for everybody. And, while we're speaking of we the people, if we did half the crap that they do and get away with it, you wouldn't even need a federal prison.
Well, they do get a lot away with a lot of crap, but that's because people let them. People just roll over.
Exactly. And I'm super glad you have this thing going. I didn't know about y'all until about 2 hours ago. I've been listening to you while I'm driving home.
Oh, wow, cool.
And I couldn't help myself. I had to call in.
Well,
nice.
Welcome, Milton, and stick with us. We're on 7 nights a week, although I don't think we're on every night there on broadcast radio, but you can always get more Free Talk Live anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. So thank you for the call, and enjoy the ride. I appreciate that. That's one of the things I've been trying to change with this whole stay safe mentality that's been going on out there. I've been trying to say to people, instead of drive safe, which used to be what I said, I want to say enjoy
drive
the
fast,
ride.
take chances.
I want to say enjoy the ride now instead of drive safe.
That applies to all situations.
Sure. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can share your thoughts with us. A business owner who has been either quietly or openly disobedient to these rules, these arbitrary, tyrannical diktats. More coming up.
When I adopted her, she was a mess. Scabs, itching, licking, missing fur, hot spots. So I get the Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
And the Lico Chops. Within a 4-week total, Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog. And she loves it.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret Shaving Oil can help stop it.
Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
This is novelist Tom Robbins. When my mother was diagnosed with glaucoma, her conservative Virginia physician told her there was only one treatment that might ease her pain and save her eyesight. That treatment was medical marijuana, which he could not prescribe. I offered to get her some and teach her how to use it effectively, but my father objected because marijuana was against the law. So my mother, who loved to read and walk in nature, was condemned to grow cruelly, unnecessarily blind. Tragedies like this happen all the time, but they don't have to keep happening. To learn more about medical marijuana, call the Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or visit them on the web at mpp.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We were talking about the New Hampshire Freedom Festivals that are coming up here in just a few weeks from now, several weeks away. And Liberty.menu's got an entry for Forkfest there. Liberty.menu is an excellent site. It's a tool for individuals who reject the initiation of force and agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. If that describes you, you ought to have your business, the thing that you do, or more than one thing, listed over at liberty.menu. It's a pretty handy site. It's easy to use. It's very attractive, and it's free, so why not? Maybe you'd like a little bit more business. Maybe you'd like some new customers. Well, they can find you by using liberty.menu if you're listed there. So go ahead, get on over there and get listed now. And again, it's free to do that. You can use code FTL. You'll get a special Free Talk Live listener badge on your profile for doing that. And there is a bit of a social networking aspect to the site as well. And it does include events listings and digital content. So go to liberty.menu to do that. All right, so here's the story that I've been teasing all night long with mlive.com reporting Lansing, Michigan, that's the state capital there. Barbers and protesters conducted Operation Haircut on the state's lawn and steps of the state capitol.
It's a great name.
With few confrontations or flare-ups on Wednesday, the demonstration organized by the Michigan Conservative Coalition featured barbers and stylists offering free haircuts in defiance of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's executive orders aiming to slow the spread of COVID-19.
That's great. Just that description, the optics of that, the free haircuts, it's put on by an official organization. It seems really wholesome, and it's in defiance of something that is clearly tyrannical. Like, these are all big wins.
And who could be against this?
This is good press.
Well, the people who are the Chicken Littles, the fraidy cats, the people that are cowering and snitching on their neighbors, those are the ones who are against this. The statists who want total control and total obedience, they're against this. The emergency orders by Whitmer closed barbershops, salons, and other businesses. And we had been referring to previously the 77-year-old man. Somebody called about him earlier tonight, the guy running a barbershop in northern Michigan who was, again, one of these business owners who was out on Front Street, letting it be known that he was continuing to operate. And they, of course, targeted him. The only escalation Wednesday came when a pair of Michigan militia protesters, one with a rifle, started shouting at Michigan State police officers for issuing $500 citations to barbers. So I guess the media doesn't consider it an escalation when those government goons are actually issuing the citations. That's not an escalation to them. That's just the natural way of things. But to me, that is the escalation, because prior to that, all you had were people that were privately or I guess openly offering haircuts to anybody who wanted them. And then you've got a bunch of armed goons from the state police coming in there and trying to intimidate them.
Yeah, and whether the cops agree or disagree with the policies they're enforcing doesn't really matter, because they're enforcing them, right? Like, they're going out there and the one side says, do what you want, face the consequences. The other side says, you will do as we say or you will go to prison. Because once you get a $500 fine and you refuse to pay it, what happens?
You go to jail.
Yeah, ultimately, that's where it goes.
Well, there's also jail time that is included in this charge. The charge is not violating the governor's orders, but the old favorite.
Disorderly conduct.
Disorderly conduct.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
No, it sucks. That shows law enforcement is in the wrong when they have to do disorderly conduct
they got nothing
or
else.
A small variety of these little handfuls of things. It's like all it is contempt of authority. And this country was created by people who had contempt for their current authority.
Yeah.
In fact, people who were willing to shoot the enforcers of that authority. So just keep it in mind.
Officers were issuing a fine to Angelo Regas, a barber from Caledonia, as well as 6 others working Wednesday. No arrests or physical altercations occurred. MSP, that's the state police spokesbureaucrat, Shannon Banner told MLive, quote, "They were warned that if they continue to cut hair, they will be cited. And then they finally were cited as a disorderly person. A person convicted of disorderly person/conduct is subject to up to 90 days in jail or a fine of no more than $500 or both." Regas helped de-escalate the situation, telling the 2 men that she could handle the situation in court herself. She says, "I just took the citation, I just took it, and I'll fight it. I'm not worried, and I have a lot of friends and a lot of supporters here today that will support me no matter what happens today." So kudos to her for being willing to fight this. Unfortunately, this is the bad part of the story. The conservative organizers of the protest pledged to cover barbers' fines through a GoFundMe fundraiser in a speech to the crowd. And this is another aspect of these pushbacks that I got to say I don't appreciate very much.
What do you mean?
Paying the government, specifically enriching the state, encouraging them. You pay them, you encourage them. If you pay them, you're telling them, "Oh, I guess I'm part of your system and I'm agreeing with what you're doing."
I'm not entirely sure that's I get your point, and it's not that I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
It's that, I mean, there are people openly flouting the law here. They're willing to do it. Yes, they're paying the fines or whatever, but they're saying, look, these are stupid rules. And I don't want to deal with the consequences, and people don't want them to deal with the consequences. They don't want these brave souls to have to deal with the consequences, so they're willing to give the money to pay for the fines or whatever.
I understand why they're doing what they're doing. It's just sad because you're paying the bully.
Yeah, but it's about minimizing damage. So the bully's either going to kick you in the shins or somewhere else, and you decide,
what are the choices,
where do I
really?
want to get kicked?
I mean, look, there's what's right and what's wrong, right? Like what's right is these barbers, defend their ability to, give haircuts. And ultimately, defense comes down to firearms in this world. I mean, we live in a world where every square inch was taken by somebody willing to fight for it. And
well, if you pay, you're not fighting. You're rolling over.
I got you. But you can't fight. I don't recommend fighting.
Sure you can. I've never paid a single fine to these government goons.
I know, man.
Yeah. So you could just not pay and then let the chips fall where they might. They're going to put you in jail. Well, they already have a potential jail sentence on this. It's up to 90 days in jail. You're not going to be able to pay that away. So just do whatever the extra time is for the $500. I think it's a bad precedent because then you're just telling people that you can't resist. That even if you resist past point A, which is to say that they did, and kudos to them for doing the haircuts in the first place, that is some level of, civil disobedience, and I appreciate that. But then you don't back it up in that case. You just go ahead and just, capitulate. And, now they want $500 out of you? Okay, somebody else is going to pay it. Well, you've made the problem go away, but you've also made the problem worse. Because now they know they're going to get money every time they go and they issue one of these fines. It's no skin off their back.
It's a lot to ask for the general public to have an entirely principled stance. Like most people just...
I ask a lot.
Yeah, well,
it's true.
It might be too much to ask.
Yeah.
Because what people are comfortable with is just using their judgment about, well, this seems too much. I'm willing to accept that the government is my master and is the authority over me, has jurisdiction here, but this is too far, and I'm going to fight them on this one issue.
The toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Again, I think for the most part, this is a good protest.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that it happened, and there needs to be more like this, but don't pay these goons. It's Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
This COVID-19 thing has turned the world upside down. Regardless of what you believe about it, it has changed our lives. But what's not changed is that if you own a business, you need to advertise to reach new customers or clients. Our audience is not the kind to stick their heads in the sand during a crisis. They are fully engaged and more active than ever. Special advertising packages are available to you to help you not just recover, but thrive. Email my sales manager, Matthew at freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial, toll free. Join us here. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Massive Barber civil disobedience, hair salon civil disobedience, multiple barbers and hairstylists meeting in the Michigan State Capitol to give free haircuts. And by the way, there was actually a guy giving free haircuts here in Keene over the weekend. So that was
really?
last weekend, not this weekend. But yeah, Sunday at our Social Sundays event.
But that's a real service.
Somebody we didn't know was just randomly in the park with a pair of clippers and giving
pretty good haircuts.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Right?
Boy, that is awesome. Because, that is something that's important to everybody, is being able to have your hair cut, being able to be presentable.
Mm-hmm.
We've all got this problem of this stuff that grows out of our head, and we have to do something with it.
Got to chop it off.
And it affects everyone. So it's great.
It was one of the things that you heard from people the most during the lockdown was, where do I get a haircut? How do I get a haircut?
Yeah, it's about self-respect. We want to be able to groom ourselves and go out into the world with our head held high. And if we look like slobs, it's hard to feel good about yourself. I don't know about you, but I like to be presentable.
Yeah, Ian's fine with it.
Hey, I gave myself a haircut the other day.
Yeah, looks good.
Thank you. Anyway, this guy was just, giving haircuts. We didn't know who he was. He wasn't a libertarian activist or anything like that.
Yes, he was.
He was just a guy, and I don't even know what his politics were. I didn't ask him about that.
His actions reveal his preferences.
At least on this issue, yeah. He was on the right side of things. And he just plugged into the bandstand in Central Square, which apparently they had the power turned on.
That's bad.
Yeah, they didn't shut
Theft
the power
of government
off.
services.
Right. I asked him if I could take his picture, and the other guy, and they were totally cool with it. So I've got photos of it and everything.
That's
cool.
great. Yeah. Thanks for documenting that.
Yeah, I haven't posted it anywhere, but I do have it. So we've been talking about what happened in Michigan, and we can continue with that. In fact, we do have Gary on the line in Nashville, Michigan. Gary, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was down there at that and actually got a haircut down there at the Capitol.
Oh, right on.
A lot of good people down there. I wasn't impressed with the state police. One of the state stylists right in front of us got surrounded. I think there was 8 state troopers. They all turned around and looked away from the stylist. And when they had another, looked like the higher ranking officer went in there and talked to the stylist. I didn't agree with that. That was just wrong. We did donate money for their fines. If they get them, there's also a lawyer that is going to be taking their case on.
Is the lawyer taking the cases pro bono?
I'm not sure.
I hope so.
He was on a talk show the other day, but he might, he is going to be taking on all their cases, and there was 7 of them. One was a little bit intimidated, but kept on cutting and stayed there.
So let me see if hold on before you go on. Are you saying that even though the goons were there intimidating these barbers, that they didn't stop the cutting? So even when they were fined or issued a citation, did they stop at that point, or did they continue and finish the job that they had started?
Well, they finished that and finished more. They just got a ticket.
So that's interesting that the police didn't actually ticket and then say, if you keep going, we're going to arrest you. So they just issued the tickets and walked away, basically?
Yes. No, it was
armed
a
fundraisers.
Yeah.
It was a protest.
Mm-hmm.
And now the protest, I went in there to protest and gave my hair. They came in there and gave their hands and their equipment. So I think they had to watch what they do, because if they start shutting people down, hauling them out for protest, they would probably been in big trouble at that point in time, I think. I'm not a lawyer, but...
Well, I think they would have been legally in the right to put people in handcuffs, but it's bad for optics, right? They didn't want to be seen doing that generally.
Those people were peaceably assembling. And as far as I'm concerned, they don't have the right to do that. All those people took an oath to the United States Constitution, and the right to peaceably assemble is right there. Right, but this is the problem with cops, right? They take an oath to the Constitution, said that they'll protect your constitutional rights, and then they slather all over the shoes of those lying thieves. And then what do? They complain about the liars and the thieves that hold back the money from how come you're not giving us more? Our union went in there for more money. These people aren't serving and protecting anybody but the politicians. If it isn't glaringly clear right now, this is it, right? Everybody's thanking nurses. Nobody's thanking cops anymore. And they shouldn't be.
This is totally political.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a county that has a total of 57 cases, and last I heard, there's only 14. Everybody else is recovered. There's only 14 in our entire county, and they still have my business shut down.
What's your business, if you don't mind? What's the industry?
Driver education. We teach kids how to drive.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Sorry, kids. You don't get to learn how to drive anymore. COVID-19.
You'll have to learn how to drive later.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call, Gary. I appreciate you going down there, man, and being the victim of those barbers voluntarily.
It was fun.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Cool. It looked like fun. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Business owners like Sarah Yaks, this according to, again, MLive.com, who runs Hillsdale Massage Parlor Elbows of Love, said she's losing $2,000 a month and struggles to cover basic needs for her children who traveled with her to the protest. She said, her voice occasionally breaking with emotion, quote, "That's not for the extras. That's not for taking my kids out to eat. Not having that income, while I'm grateful for the stimulus check that carried me through and I don't have to worry about getting evicted, the bills didn't stop," she said. Whitmer's administration should trust barbers, salons, and massage parlors to operate safely, she said. Quote, "As a healthcare provider before this ever happened, I wash my hands before and after every client. I sanitize my equipment before every client. She has no right to take my career away."
If this wasn't a plan by big government and big business to destroy small business in America, then they really missed an opportunity, because it certainly worked.
It's unlikely barbers, salons, and personal care services would reopen when the stay-at-home order expires on May 28th, according to Whitmer. That's the governor there in Michigan. She said this, "It hurts me to say it because I would love to go get my hair done too. But the fact of the matter is, the nature of that personal service is such that it is intimate. It is close. You can't social distance and get your hair cut.
You can go to Toledo, get your hair cut, and you'll be just fine."
Is it legal in Toledo or something?
I presume. I mean, this is the thing, and the smaller the state, the funnier it is. Vermont, laughable. I mean, laughable.
What about it?
In all their lockdowns.
I didn't know that they had any.
Most of the people in Vermont live, pretty much everybody in Vermont lives 20 miles from the state border.
Yeah, but they're all geriatrics, right? I mean, they have to
in Vermont?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're old LL Bean geriatrics. They hike and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're healthy.
Yeah.
She says that's why it's important that we have all the protocols in place. My hope is that we get into phase 4 and then phase 5, and we are able to do those things. But at this juncture, it's too early to say precisely when we will get there. We're going to get there.
Who's we, lady?
Didn't the people of Michigan vote this lady in?
Some people did.
Well, that's one of the issues. It just ping-pongs back and forth in so many of these places. Look at the United States. Is it a Republican place or is it a Democrat place? Ping-pong every 8 years.
I don't know. They chose this lady. I mean, they had other options, presumably.
But most of the people in Michigan didn't vote. So they didn't vote. They didn't choose her. I mean, I suppose you could say they chose her by not voting.
No, I don't say that.
Oh, they actually had counter-protesters at this event, according to the story.
Were they joke counter-protesters?
A handful of them showed up, including members of the New Black Panther Nation.
No.
Everyone wants businesses to be open, said their spokesperson Malik Shabazz. It must be done slowly and on the basis of science. He said, quote,
"Oh, that's so dumb.
Let us open the economy slowly, safely, cautiously, and let science lead us, because money does not come before lives."
Yeah, well, that is so inauthentic. Let science lead us. Because if he was actually looking at the science, he would see that there's no threat here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, anybody can look at the science and come up with whatever they want. But I will say this. My life is my own to choose how I risk it. If I wanted to go into business, you can protect your life. Stay your butt indoors. Stay in there. Stay in there for the rest of your life. No one cares. No one's trying to tell you you have to stay in your house. They're trying to get out, and people won't let them.
All right, we got more coming up here. If you want to weigh in on the various different lockdowns and protests and things that are happening where you are, we'd love to hear about it. 855-450-FREE. And is there an update on the Libertarian Party convention? It's Free Talk Live.
We all have heard about the benefits of fish oils, but what about the presence of heavy metals, PCBs, dioxins, furans, and other contaminants found in fatty tissues of fish? GCNteam.com recognizes this risk and offers IFOS certified tested omega-3 fatty acids. EPA, DHA insist on IFOS omega-3 fatty acid certification. Get the best at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203.
This is a Corona Crisis Self-Reliance Alert. If you're worried about the power grid in the current crisis and want to generate your own supply of off-the-grid electrical power, just in case, pay close attention. Here's why. A limited supply of solar backup generators will be available again in the next 2 weeks. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical backup power when you get off the grid. And unlike gas generators, these solar generators run quietly, emit no fumes, and produce an endless supply of free electricity from the sun. Dangerous weather, social unrest, or overloaded grids this summer will not be a problem if you go to mysolarbackup.com and get your solar backup generator. We regret that supplies are limited and only available on a first-come, first-served basis. Check availability at mysolarbackup.com. Never suffer painful power outages again. Go to mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required, only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
You know how annoying it is when someone keeps stopping mid-sentence as though he or she were asking you a series of questions? Avoid doing that. It sounds unnervingly tentative, and it imposes upon the listener to help you complete the thought. And if you're a job seeker, this alone could be a deal killer. An effective communicator sounds more confident. Complete the thought. Avoid making the listener impatient. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook. Survivalspeech.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Derrick J.
And Mark.
Also, don't forget to check out freetalklive.com. We have a lot of cool features on our website, so head on over there and enjoy the various different things you will find for free at freetalklive.com.
This COVID-19 thing's turned the world upside down. Regardless of what you believe about it, it's changed our lives. But what's not changed is that if you own a business, you need to advertise to reach new customers or clients. Our audience is not the kind to stick their heads in the sand during a crisis. They're fully engaged and more active than ever. Special advertising packages are available to you to help you not just recover, but thrive. Email my sales manager, Matthew at freetalklive.com. That's Matthew at freetalklive.com.
All right, let's continue. David is on the line in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
Hey, yeah, the governor of New Mexico, so she did like a bunch of other governors, issued these shutdown orders. But we have the New Mexico Constitution, Article 4, Section 2, and it's short, but one of the things it says is that within 7 days of declaring these kinds of lockdowns or impositions on the people, that she's got to consult, in fact, call into session the legislature, which, sounds reasonable, but she never did that. And she's gonna, if asked, what she's gonna say is that, oh well, we're not invoking the emergency powers in Article 4, Section 2 of the New Mexico Constitution.
Yes, other powers.
We have this other statutory Emergency Powers Act, and that's what we're using. But let me ask you, does it stand to reason that any statute that is enacted by a legislature that's operating under a state constitution, wouldn't that act need to be congruent with the Constitution that is the highest law in the state?
The way you explain it, it sounds unconstitutional as hell. And one wonders why it hasn't been taken to a court up to this point. But, I don't know what the results are of that. If they say, well, this is an emergency power, this is a urgent power, or some other crap hole thing like that. Politicians do this stuff all the time. They
Right.
parse words in order to lie and gain power.
Yeah, and what I would say back to them is Your Honor, I didn't murder him. It just ended his life, and so it's once again, any reasonable person, if you say, well, this isn't martial law, it's a lockdown. Okay, well, what's the difference? You're imposing aspects of martial law, and if you're imposing aspects of martial law, then shouldn't you have to get or follow the law on that kind of imposition?
Yeah, well, they don't have to do anything.
There's no rules.
Yeah.
The rules are made up, and no one follows them, and it doesn't matter. There's nothing that they can do.
Right.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Yeah.
Who cares?
You've hit it. Right. But they need. So the point is, they need to be called out on it, because the average person isn't aware that the courts and the people in power.
I don't think the average person cares. The average person wants to be told what to do, it seems like to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now you've hit on something else, is the fact, or the seeming fact, that 80% of the population is irrelevant, and it's left to the remaining 20% to fight it out. So you got 10% of them that are abusing us, and 10% that need to oppose that abuse, and it's up to us. And the 80% in the middle don't matter, except for there's one caveat. They have figured out this thing called democratic voting, and that they have figured out that they can get the 80% imbeciles to go cast a vote for the oppressor, thinking that they're doing something good. And therefore, in that manner, they've harnessed the power of the imbecile, the 80% imbeciles in the middle, that then fight against the 10% of society that are both, that are, wise and just. Put it that way, which would be us. We're on the good side, and of course.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody always thinks. But yes.
Thank you, David, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Let's go to Gene, the Christian anarchist. He's on our Discord call-in line rooms. Go ahead, Gene.
Hey, my star-studded group tonight. This is my favorite group of hosts. So,
yay! Thanks.
That's all the ass kissing you get for tonight.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I want to talk about two things real quick about Twitter. They sanctioned one of my tweets. I did a tweet. And all it was my comment about COVID-19, and then a link to a zerohedge.com article about how the suicides are spiking. And their warning says basically these four things. The first three are very quick. Just this website steals passwords, installs malicious software, collects personal information. So what they're doing is listing something that may be a violation at that website. They're not saying that they did all those things, but they're saying that this is what may be the reason that we're restricting that. But the fourth one is the one that really matters. It says has been associated with a violation of Twitter's terms of service. So now their terms of service basically say that if you have an idea, if you're linking to information that's contrary to the status quo, that's a violation of Twitter's terms of service.
That's correct. And it's not just Twitter, YouTube,
The
Facebook.
good news is Gene is on Twitch. So there's no way that can get pulled down. It's on the blockchain.
That's right.
You post something there, and it's there forever.
Twitch is the blockchain competitor to Twitch. Or Twitch. I keep saying Twitch. Twitter.
And
Twitch
I hope everybody
Twitter.
Hope everybody starts using Twitch. The other thing I was going to talk about was my link on Twitter and on Minds.com and other in fact, I think I put it on Twitch as well. But it's about where I proved that climate change cannot actually exist, at least not man-made climate change. And I put all of the numbers that I came up with, and I've been challenging everybody to go there and try and prove me wrong. I basically proved that if you burn all the fossil fuels that we have on the planet, or that's known reserves, because we don't know for sure how much carbon fuels there are. But if we were to burn all of the fuels that we know exist within 1 second, which is of course impossible, it would emit X amount of CO2. And I run all those numbers through a spreadsheet and come up with a number. And then I compare that number to the mass of the atmosphere, and it comes to a very tiny, it's like 2 or 3% of an increase of CO2 in the mass of the atmosphere by CO2. Now, yes, the mass of CO2 might be different than the mass of nitrogen, et cetera, but it's basically showing that the amount of CO2 you would put into the atmosphere isn't really enough to cause a significant change. And that's if you were to burn all the reserves for 50 years. So the amount that we're burning each year is inconsequential.
So they took this post down too, or what?
No, they didn't.
No,
this is the main reason I called today, is because I want people to go to that. You can, I put it on the Discord, and it's also in my Twitter feed. I'm sure people can find it if they want it. Gene1 Christian.
Gene, the number one Christian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what experts might say regarding this. It's, I mean, if you've done the calculations, I'm very curious if somebody can come out there and say, those calculations are right or wrong. I mean, that's how science works.
Appreciate your call here tonight. Mark, you got an update from the Libertarian Party?
Yep, the Libertarian Party convention is on its third round of voting at this point. They have eliminated both Adam Kokesh and Judge Jim Gray. And now they are down to Jacob Hornberger, Joe Jorgensen, I can't remember Mon's first name, Vermin Supreme, and none of the above, which is always available.
All right. Vermin's been in third place this whole time, but as each candidate gets eliminated, then the people who are voting for that candidate can then vote for one of the other ones.
They're free to vote for another candidate.
And sometimes candidate who gets eliminated will endorse one of the other three and try to influence votes.
Right. So 49 out of 51, what they're calling states, D.C. gets its own, have reported at this point, and you've got it at Jorgensen at about 38%, Hornberger at about 25.5%, Supreme, that's Vermin Supreme, at 18.5%, and
a respectable showing for Vermin Supreme
at 16.5%.
It's not going to be good enough, likely, to walk away with it. I mean, anything could happen between now and the end of it, but it's not sounding good.
170 delegates will be free from Mons here in this next go round, by the looks of it, and that would be a really sizable number. I mean, it would be impressive if they all went for Supreme, but
not
then
likely.
Again, yeah, I mean, Mons is not wearing a rubber boot on his head.
No, he wears a bow tie,
and so as does Jacob Hornberger. So Mons voters will either go, in all likelihood, to Joe Jorgensen or Jacob Hornberger.
We should know by tomorrow night who takes this away. Although I will say, of the candidates, I think it's going to be a better choice. Any of them will be a better choice than Gary Johnson, who they had last time. So I think it's going to be a better year for
also, none of them will be rapists.
That's a good thing. I'm not sure who you're suggesting was.
Joe Biden.
The contenders.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying
Donald Trump talked about molestation.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had got involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,740, silver at $17.68, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,193. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the Trump administration and local police are using cell phone contact tracing to track individuals for their own reasons. Further, beyond the coronavirus pandemic, the Trump administration has created a new national security watch list that includes Americans who have no connection to terrorism. The new